Namaskaram. In this video, we are going to be doing the very famous, most popular Kirtana Vathapi Ganapathim Bhaje, composed by one of the greatest trinities, Sri Muthuswami Dikshitar, in the Ragam Hamsadwani set to Adi Talam. Now, before even venturing out to play the Kirtana, there are a set of few things that you will have to observe and possibly write down, possibly jot it down in your memory, so that when you're executing the song, you bring out the bhavam of the ragam, the emotion that the ragam is going to convey, the emotion that the lyrics are going to convey, along with making complicated improvisations with the help of the tala. So now let us look at the structure of the Kirtana, the composer's idea of how he has structured the Kirtana. So you have a Pallavi, Anupallavi and Charanam like most other composers do. But Muthuswami Dikshitar had his own stamp on his Kirtanas with additional Samashti Charanams. Samashti Charanams are nothing but packed lyrics, for one Avartanam, he would have packed in so much lyrics that it would almost be, when you're playing it, it would almost be like you're striking all the notes and creating a Chittaswaram kind of an effect, but all the while there are lyrics with some kind of emotions flowing, and it is to the skill of the student to emote both the lyrics as well as the ragam at the same time, maintain the pace. And he also signed his compositions with a Guru Guha. So when you see a Guru Guha at the end of a composition, you will know most certainly that it is Muthuswami Dikshitar's composition. Having looked at the structure, now you move on to the Ragam. The Ragam here is Hamsadwani. It is the Janyam of the 29th Melakarta Ragam, Shankara Bharnam. It drops out the Ma and the Chatushruti Daivatam of Shankara Bharnam and ends up being Audava Ragam. Now, when you look at the structure of the Ragam, the flow of the notes of the Ragam, you have a jump between Ga and Pa because the Ma has been dropped out, and a very big jump between Pa and a Kakali Nishadam because a Daivatam has been dropped out. Wherever in a Raga you have this kind of a structure where notes are dropped and there is a jump in that Raga, that particular Raga creates energy. So, right away by looking at the structure of the Raga, you will be able to say that Hamsadwani is an energetic Ragam. And it also has a Chatushruti Rishabham, a pure melodic note, and a Kahakali Nishadam, which is a very highly melodic note and a kind of a divine effect that it has in most of the Ragams where it is present. So that itself gets a flow of melody for the Ragam. A melodic, energetic, majestic Ragam. That is how I would describe Hamsadwani. And Vathapi the Sahithyam sits so beautifully in that Ragam that this Kirtana, no wonder that this Kirtana has become so popular. Then we move on to the Sahithyam. So when you look at the Sahithyam, Vathapi Ganapathim Bhaje, Muthuswami Dikshitar, I worship Lord Ganesha of Vathapi. Varanashyam, the god with elephant head. Varapradam Shri, who grants the boons of all his devotees. So it is in the language Sanskrit. But it is very important for the student to go seeking for the meaning of this Sahithyam. If you are not fluent in Sanskrit, most of us cannot understand the ragams that are other than our mother tongue unless we know those languages really well. So if you really don't understand the meaning, please go and check it out. I put it in the description section. So when you're watching this video or learning from this video, keep the description section open so you know the meaning of every line that is being played. This is very important to project the emotion that the lyrics are going to convey in a better manner through your gamakas. Now once you have checked out the Sahithyam, you move to the next section, Talam. Like I had mentioned in the previous video, a Kirtana can start before a Talam, start with the Talam, or start after the Talam has been put. In this case, Vathapi Ganapathim starts with the Talam. So it is Sama Eduppu. The song starts with the Talam, with the first beat of the Talam. The next and the most important thing that I am going to highlight in this video is how to make Sangathis. Taking a very simple first line improvising and going into more complicated phrases within the structure of the talam. How do you do that? How do you get a hang of it? That is what this video is going to be all about. Notice this really well. This is most important, which you can apply to all other songs that you do. So Sangathi making becomes more easier if you are aware of how you are going to do it. Now let's go into the Pallavi, the first line of Pallavi. As you are watching the screen, you will see the notation, the notes and the Sahithyam on the screen. This is the very first basic line that I have put. So normally the very first line of the Pallavi, where you're going to make a lot of Sangatis, always starts with very simple musical phrases. But if you observe the amount of the number of matras or the number of notes that are assigned to each word of this particular line, then in your mind you can calculate how you're going to improvise the other Sangatis of this particular line. Now if you have not understood what I have said, go and observe. Vathapi, Vathapi. 3 beats for the word Vathapi will mean 12 notes have been assigned to Vathapi. Ganapathim, Bhaje or Ganapathim. If you only take Ganapathim, it is 2.5 beats. So at the rate of 4 notes per beat, Ganapathim gets 10 notes. Bhaje, Bhaje, 1.5 beats. That is about 6 notes for Bhaje. That is 1 beat, 4 notes. So total of 32 notes in Aditalam, because it is 8 beats. Every beat is 4 notes, 8 fours are 32. If you calculate whatever I told you just now, it will be exactly 32. So if you follow this pattern, go by how many matras are given for each word correctly, play it at the right spot, then your talam is not going to go awry at all. That is one plus, one advantage you get. The second advantage you get is you know that Vathapi is 12 notes. You can go to a micro level and say Va, Vathapi, Va is 1.5 beats, that is 6 notes. Tapi, Ta is 1 beat, 4 notes. P is 2 matras. 6 plus 4 plus 2, 12. That is the composition of each one of those syllables of Vathapi. See, go to the micro level, you see what is the number of notes assigned to each one of those syllables is also very obvious. So, this helps in making Sangatis. How? You know Va is 6 notes. So, those 6 notes can be rearranged and you can make musical phrases for those 6 notes at the appropriate place to make it sound differently, to improvise, to make it more complicated. So, small, simple calculations. You just need to observe, be aware and be attentive. That is all it requires for you to understand how Sangatis are made. And I hope the coming Sangatis, the 5 or 6 Sangatis that we are going to make for this line will make it very absolutely clear for you as to how the improvisations or the musical phrases are added and the Sangatis are made more and more complicated. They run across the entire Madhyasthai, walk into the Tarasthai, go into the Mantrasthai. You can move across the octaves, adding musical phrases, but within the 32 note structure. This is all you have. You're being given a kitty of 32 notes. Within the 32 notes, how you move and maneuver around is all Sangathi making is about. So, let's play the very first Sangathi. You also observe how you extract, the gamakams are made. For want of paucity of time and the length of the video, I may not be going into very detailed explanations, but the explanations I am giving as far as the gamakams are concerned should be good enough when combined with a few other videos I have put on hand dynamics. For those who are new to the watch and play along series, I will give the links to those videos in my description section. Do go watch all of that, because the movement of the small muscles of the hand is also very important in creating gamakams at this stage, even more at this stage, when the expression of the ragam, expression of the emotion of the song, your interaction with the instrument, all of these matter to make the song really sound beautiful. Now, Vathapi Ganapathim, Bhaje. 3 places where the talam is coming. Start Va, Tapi Ganapathim, Pathim, Bhaje. Pathim, the Pathim, Pa gets a the first dhrutam, the second talam, and Bhaje, J of the Bhaje gets the third talam. So remember this also as you are playing the very first line. Now the Arohanam, Avarohanam of Hamsadwani goes like this. Re being a melodic note, give it a little bit of up-down pressure and oscillations to get the melody out. Ga can go flat. Ga is a very versatile note. It can create lots of emotions. While going up in the Arohanam, it goes flat. Pa, constant note flat. And then from Pa to Ni, you just connect and get some oscillations to extract the divine flavor from Ni. Sa. The return Avarohanam, Sa can go from Pa. When I am doing the Arohanam, Avarohanam itself, you must observe how frequencies are mixed. The frequency of Pa is mixed with Sa to get Sa, which means that the strike is happening in Pa. For Sa, the strike is happening in Pa. Mild oscillation. And as you are oscillating, strike and say Re. Sa can happen on the second string, or you can just drop it off on the first string. The first line of the Kirtana. Vatapi with the talam. You're taking the sound of Re into Ga. Va. So you strike in Re and move to Ga. Ga goes silent. The strike for Ga is actually happening in Re. This is a connect. The flavor of Re is coming into Ga. So just imagine if you're playing Ga, just plain. Vatapi. That's also correct. You can make that as simple as that, where you don't bring in flavors, where you play the note as it is. That is also a way of projecting the song. So this also will work. Vathapi. Another way of looking at it is mixing of frequency. Where the Ga came from Re and the Re went from Ga. Ganapathim Bhaje. Sa, Sa, Ni. On the second string, Sa one strike, Sa, Ni one strike. Then Patim Bhaje. Pa on the second string. With the talam. Sa, Di, Bhaje. J gets a talam, which is Sari. You're striking all these notes. Because this is striking notes is called emphasis. According to me, if you emphasize a lyrical placement, if you emphasize the syllable correctly, anybody listening to your song will immediately be able to follow the lyrics better. So you're saying, suppose I keep it silent. So the strength of the lyrics are coming when you're striking those notes. Hum, 4 notes. Sari, Sari. You can keep it in the second string itself, or you can move to the first string. Sani on the second string, Sari on the first string. Let me play this full line and you'll have an idea as to the emphasis points, the number of notes that are coming here, the gamakam, how the gamakam is given to bring out the Vathapi Ganapathim Bajeham. Watch it. So always learn to play once you have learned each line 2 times, so that you yourself, your brain absorbs what you are playing. The brain absorbs the kind of gamaka that maybe you can make small changes in the gamaka. First time you play plain. Now the second Sangathi, you're going to expand it a little. So you're saying Vathapi. The number of notes assigned are the same. Va, 6 notes assigned to the Va. Ga 2 aksharas, 4 pa 4 matras, 4 plus 2 6. How do you play it? Vatapi, Re. Vatapi, the P is Re, 2 matras. So the 12 matras for Vatapi is very neatly covered while you are actually expanding. You've moved from Ga to Pa. You expanded very smoothly within the framework of the 32 matras of the Tala. Within the framework that you have created for each one of those words, you are moving accordingly. So all the notes I have struck except for the Pa, which is silent. The other 3 notes I have struck. The Pa is silent because it says Va and Akaram is going and sitting on the Pa. Again, hand dynamics, muscle usage, up down pressure, a little bit of push to the string. Ga, pa, ga, re. A little shake, tug to the Ga, and then the Re is kept flat. Ganapathim. We keep that portion same as what we did for the first Sangathi. Once again, the second Sangathi. Now that we reached Pa, before expanding it to another note, there is another, you have other scopes that you can do with this Ga, Pa, Re. Vatapi is what we are working on now. Can we fill it up entirely, the 12 notes that we have? Let us fill it up entirely and see what happens. Ga, pa, ga, ga, re, sa, re, sa, ni. Vatapi, Vatapi. You can either go to Pa for the Ga, Pa, one strike. Now, quite a few of you have asked doubts about how do I carry the sound 6 matras in one strike. My sound just dies down after the second note. It is all to do with your right hand dynamics. The right hand also needs to do a little bit of stiffening, tightening, use of these muscles of the right hand. When you're striking, the strength of your strike, all of it is not the sound that you create, it is the strength. Mind you, the strength comes from the usage of the right hand muscles, which also need to be tightened. If you stretch your finger a little more, you will see that this portion of your hand tightens. And the stretched fingers will create a lot more strength to the tone that you create with the strike of the right hand. So, or go to Pa itself in one strike. It's all dependent on the strength that you give with the right hand strike. Ga, pa, ga, ga, re, sa, re, sa, ni. That is your Vatapi. I am taking the Ga and Re itself. You can also go to Re. Re, sa, ni. For the Sani, you naturally have to go to the second string because the Nishadam is placed in the Mantrasthai on the second string. That is, if you play the Pa in Pa itself, you take the Pa in Ga itself. Then Ganapathim. Now last time we said Sa, Sani. Now you can say Sa, Re, Sani. Now you have come to Ni. Sa, Re, Sani. Then what you do is you strike the Ni and take your hand out to Pa. Don't, not like that. Drive yourself down up till Da and take your hand out. See, look at how the Pa is getting driven from Ni. You strike Ni, go up till this Da and take your hand out. So it will be, and you have to do it quick. These intermediate sounds should not be heard because they are not part of Hamsadwani. You are just driving the Ni. So you get a Pa. you have covered the ga to pa area, you can move to the next note, nishadam. Vatapi. Ga pa ni in one strike. That is va. 2 plus 2 plus 2, 6 notes you have given for the va. 2 plus 2, 4 for the ta, and the re, 2 notes. So total of 12 notes for the Vathapi. You are holding on to the calculation. From the first Sangathi on, we are still holding on to the 6 plus 6. Vathapi is 12. In one strike, push the knee inside to get the melodic effect of the knee out. Paga, one strike. Re, you strike to get the Vathapi out. And Ganapathim. Last time we said Sari, Sani, Pa. Ganapathim, Sari, Sani, Pa, Re. Now we'll, instead of the Sari, Sani, 4 notes, you say Gari, Sani, Pa, Re. Push the Ga into Re from Sa. Gari, Sani, one strike. Gari, one strike. Sani, one strike. Again, drive down the Pa from Sa or Ni down to Da and take your hand out. Please don't go and linger on this Da. Then the Da will be heard. It is an aberration. You can't make the mistake of bringing an Anyaswara into a very pure raga like Hamsadwani. I'm keeping the rest of the song. Bhaje, the same. That remains constant as of now. So once again I play the 4th Sangathi. Now let us expand a little more. No, as I am talking to you, a Sangathi which I have not written in this the notation that you are watching here on the screen. I got a new Sangathi that we can do for the Gapani. Vatapi. Pagani Basani. Paga pushed in Ga. See, from Re I am pushing Paga. Nipa. From Ga I am pushing into Pa and getting a Nipa. And from Pa I am pushing into Ni. Sani. Tapi. Nothing, I'm not touching that. You can still go and do something for the tapi also. Here I want that effect of to be heard better. You know, if you're going to completely ruffle up the entire Vathapi, then the beauty of what you're creating here. So we have made 2 different Sangathis for the Gapani part of the Kirtana. Now we move beyond that, we are going to Re. Gapani Sari, Gapani Sari, E. 6 notes for Va. Sani Pagari, Sani Pagari, E. Tapi. Ganapathim Bhaje. So Gapani Sari in one strike. Again, you have to take care of your right hand, the positioning, the muscle tightening. So when you're doing Gapani Sari, push that Re inside. One strike. Sani Paga, one strike. Re. Vathapi Ganapathim Kari Sari Bhaje Kari Sari. Instead of doing Sani Sari, now you're saying Kari Sari. Vathapi Ganapathim Bhaje. Now, one more complicated phrase going up to Re. Gapani Sari Gari Sani Bagari Sani Pari Sari Sani Sari. Vatapi Vathapi Ganapathim Bhaje. Sani pa one strike, ga strike, re sa re one strike, pa re sa re, pa re sa re. Again, watch this. So the hum, slowly, subtly, we are even shifting the hum from Sani Sari to Gari Sari to Pani Sari. 4 notes. Combination can be shifted here and there within this zone to see that the Vathapi takes off at the right place. Here Vathapi is taking off all the time from Ga. So your hum should end somewhere in Re. So that it's very comfortable and smoothly transitioning into the Vathapi of the next Sangathi. So that was Sangathi making for you. We made up to about 7 Sangathis in the Pallavi as of now. There will be one more added to it after the next line is over. If you notice, all of these Sangathis have started from Gandharam, the place where the composer has started the Sangathi, that there was no change or shift in the position of the starting or the ending point of the Sahithyam. The Sangathis were built up on just moving across the octave. So the note patterns or the prayogas were focused on bringing out the bhavam or the emotion that Hamsadwani as a Ragam is giving out. Also it is bringing out the beauty of the Sahithyam, the meaning behind the Sahithyam, and intelligent musical phrases according to the needs of the talam. The next line is, in this line I am going to focus more on the little bit of Kalpana Swaram that we are going to do in between the Sahithyam. This is also part of Kirtana playing. You choose a place where you would like to play that little bit of Kalpana Swaram. I have chosen this line because the line goes like this. Varanashim varapradam Shri. It talks about, the meaning goes like this. Varanashyam, the god who has an elephant face, and Varapradam Shri, he grants boons to all his devotees. So I am going to stop at Varanashyam, and for the rest of the 4 beats that Varapradam Shri contributes, we don't play the Varapradam Shri for a few Sangathis, where we are actually going to, in the place of Varapradam Shri, we are going to do some little bit of Kalpana Swaram. Why did I choose this place to do this particular Kalpana Swaram exercise? In our culture, Lord Ganesha is very loved, and the fact that he has got an elephant face adds to his charm. So we are going to play around that. You have an elephant face in a very nice way. We are treating this as a playful exercise. So how does it go? Varanashyam. And we stop there at the 4th beat. The 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th beat, we keep it vacant, and that is where we are going to do these fillers or Kalpana Swarams. Now before I go into that, again observe Varanashyam. So Vara will have 6 matras, Na 6 matras, Shyam 4 matras. So this calculation will be there with you. We'll make a few changes to those phrases later on as we move into the Sangathis. But this calculation, this observation should always be there for you. Sangathi making is all about those kind of observations. So we go into that. Now one more thing that I would like to tell here is that every player, every musician looks at these Sangathis from his or her point of view. That is where creativity lies in Carnatic music, where the composer has given a basic tune to the song, to the Sahithyam, but you have the capability with your creativity, the way you put your musical phrases, the way you've understood your raga, the way you perceive the Sahithyam, where you make your own phrases, and that makes it a unique phrase that another person possibly will look at differently. Now you have gotten into the section of creativity, and let us go and see how you can do it. So I said Varanashyam. Gari Gapa. 6 matras I have given for Na. pa, shyam. Sham is also a pa. Of course, you are going to have a connecting note ga, which will give the flow of the Sahithyam. So how do you play this? Ga, re, ga, a little bit of pressure from the two fingers, tighten the two fingers and slightly push the ga when you play. The second ga will come and land flat. The re will be silent. That is ba, ra, na. Calculate the 6 notes. It's a 6 matra na. So pa, and when you're doing the last pa, get down to ga silently as a drop down note. This drop down note is going to ensure that the song is flowing. So the last pa, which is shyam, will go from ga, strike in ga and push it to pa. Once you have arrived at pa, you're going to keep the next 4 notes free. So what do you do? Pa, 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 pa. You can strike pa 4 times to keep the talam tight, or you can just remain silent, keeping the talam in your mind. Once again I play this. 1, 2, 3, 4. For the next 4 Sangatis, watch how we slowly add notes. These Kalpana Swaram is all about adding notes to each one of those beats, striking all of those notes. These are just fillers, they don't have any Sahithyam attached to them. So it goes like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. On the 8th beat, I am saying ga, re, sa, re. This is a creative phrase. Now for those of you who are very new to this concept of Kalpana Swaram or adding Swarams as fillers in between a Sahithyam, you will have to go and watch my Varnams that I have done, the exhaustive tutorials of Varnams, where I have talked about musical phrases that you have to pick up, the ideas that you have to pick up from Varnams, because your ability to be creative will be in your being able to create these musical phrases that are gelling with that are prayogas that the Ragam will be able to exude also. So here ga, re, sa, re is a very Hamsadwani prayoga. We are adding it to the 8th beat. So once again I am playing this, watch it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. So now I have added on the 7th beat, I am adding pagari. I am giving a pause so that we have a change in the flavor of the Kalpana Swaram flow. So on the 7th beat, you're going to play pagari. How do you play? You either bring the pagari from pa. See to it that you strike all the notes. Pagari, gari, sa, re, coming from pa. Or if you're going to take the pa in ga itself, it'll be like this. So pagari, taken in ga, and gari, sa, re in re. So the next 4 notes will be coming on the 6th beat. We are going to add 4 notes there. We can have a ni pa ga pa ni pa ga pa ni pa from the avarohanam, ga pa from the arohanam. So you can play that also in push the knee in pa and get it like this. Ni pa ga pa, pushed in pa. Pagari. In this case, you can play the pagari from pa itself. Gari, sa, re. Now I'm going to play this Sangathi. Watch this. 1. That 1 which I told was for the 5th beat. That vacant 5th beat, you need to keep a calculation. You keep it in your head. You don't have to say it out aloud. I am doing it for the sake of the tutorial. So how does it go? If I don't talk anything, it goes like this. fifth beat also. You have one more beat that can be filled. So you can say ni pa ga pa pa ga re ga re sa re. So the ni pa ga re ga re sa re, I am keeping it as it is, adding 4 more notes for the fifth beat, which will be sa ni pa ga pa ga re ga re sa re. So you see, it all sounds so good. You played around the Sahithyam, which says you are an elephant-faced god. It also brings out the beauty of the Ragam in a way where even as a Chittaswaram, like Kalpanaswaram, where you are striking all the notes, the bhavam of the raga is also brought, and the playfulness of the entire exercise is also coming out of it. Once again, I play these 4 Sangathis back to back. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1. You saw that? I hope you understood that section of how you add Kalpanaswaram in between a Sahithyam. Why in between a Sahithyam? Because this line has another half avartanam of Sahithyam to go, where you say Varapradam Shri. So that full line now as a Sahithyam, how is it going to pan out? In the next Sangathi, you're going to say Ga pa ga ri ga vara, which is 6 matras. Instead of saying ga ri ga, we are going to say ga pa ga ri ga, 6 matras. Na pa ni pa ga pa. Sham pa ni sham vara pradam shivarana sham vara pradam shiva pagariga pani pagapa pani sani paga gari sari. The gamakam for this line will go like this. In one strike, gapagari, and the ga, 2 matra ga, you can strike because vara, the ra is coming on that. So these are emphasis points. If you strike that ga for ra, you hear vara more better. So emphasis points should never be missed when you are playing Sahithyams. Na pa ni pa ga pa. So push from ga into pa and get the pani. In one strike, pa ni pa ga pa. Now many of you might ask, in one strike how can I make 6 notes? First of all, you must understand, as you are playing, this is all coming while you are playing. The string is already vibrating. You just have to capture that positive vibration that is happening to the string by doing your pushing and your hand dynamics to see that the waves or the string movement is kept continuous. If you stop in between, then the string falls down and the flow is also getting cut here. So when you're playing Varana, Varanashyam, that Varana, watch this. Here instead of saying pa, for sham, we are going to say pa ni sham vara sa ni pa. That is vara, sa ni. How do you play? Sa goes from pa, ni comes from sa. And from that ni drop down to pa. These drop down notes again keep the flow of the song. Pradam pa ga separately. Strike both of them separately with emphasis more on ga. Shri gari sari. Now by now you must be familiar with the gari sari. But here you have to play it as an akara because Shri in one strike. Once again I play this Sangathi. Now the next Next, again, one more Sangathi for this. We keep the Varanashyam, we keep the Varana same. Shyam, Pani Sari for the Shyam. In one strike, go. Pani Sari. Varapradam Shri. Varapradam was 3 beats. Varapradam Shri. 3 beats is equal to 12 matras. So here we are going to completely fill up the 12 matras with Ri Sa Ni Sa Ni Pa Ni Pa Ga Pa Ga Ri. All Avrohanam phrases, small phrases, like phrases. They are all similar to each other. 3 4s are 12. So how do you play? Ri Sa Ni Sa Ni Pa Ga Pa Ga Ri Sa Ri. Now, so again, let us go into the minor aspect of how do you play the Ri Sa Ni. In Sa, you strike, play Ri Sa. Push the string a little bit back for the Ri, come forward for the Sa and go to Ni. So this is all happening in one stroke. Then Sa Ni Pa, that will happen from Ni. Sa Ni, Ni, string slightly pushed behind for the Sa, back for the Ni. Then from in Pa, you'll play Ni Pa Ga. Just you'll have to, here again hand dynamics, I'm reminding you, tighten your 2 fingers. In the description section, I'll give you all the videos that explain hand dynamics, that explain musical phrases. If you want, please go and check those videos. Ni Pa Ga, played in Pa with the 2 fingers tightened. Slightly string is pushed for the Ni. Pa Ga Ri happening in Ga. Play the Pa in Ga. So together the 4 phrases will come like this. Ga Ri Sa Ri Shi remains the same. I'll play this Sangathi. Now, once this is done, the Vathapi Ganapathim is going to go into your Tarasthai Rishabam. Vathapi Ganapathim Bhaje. So push the Rishabam, the 6 matra Rishabam from the Ri of the Madhyasthai. Strike the Ri and take your finger across the fretboard to the Rishabam of the Tarasthai all the time. Follow your finger, with your eye. The eye needs to go along with your finger so that you don't tumble into wrong notes. 6 matras. Ri, that will be 6 matras. Then Sa Ni Pa Ga Ri Ta Pi. Sa Ni Pa Ga 1 strike. Ri 1 strike to get the Ta Pi. Ganapathim Gare Sa Ni Pa Sa Ti. Now, the most important thing, how do you tie up the knot? You finished your Pallavi, so you need to tie up the knot by playing 2 or 3 phrases to like an alap, all the time you're going to keep a watch on your talam. You cannot let loose of your talam just because now you're saying I'm going to play alap, so no talam, no. You are still within the playing of the kirtana. So you're going to say ga, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, sa, 2. Watch this again. This is a very, very simple way of tying up the knot for the Pallavi. There are other ways where you can say the talam is running. Yeah, here you've come to a completion of the Pallavi, where you learned Sangathi making, where you learned fillers with Kalpana Swarams. And I hope the concept behind all of this has been understood, because at the end of the day, one cannot be, we have come into the creative field now. The advanced lessons are going to be in the creative domain. Every kirtana, every alapana, every thanam or kalpana swaram cannot be spoon fed here. You'll have to understand how it all works and start doing it yourself. So I hope this section of the Pallavi has given you the fundamentals of how you handle your creativity as far as Sangathis and basic Kalpana Swarams are concerned. I will see you in the next video where we will be doing the Anupallavi and Charanam of the same Kirtana. Until then, if you have any doubts, do contact me through my comments section. Thank you.